perhaps this is the first time you're tuning in, my name's Jack. I'm a specialist IT recruiter for the MCS Group operating across the GB market. Our ultimate goal has always been to become really embedded within the communities that we actually operate within, regardless of geography, whether that be the south of England, USA, Ireland, or perhaps where we're headquartered in Northern Ireland. We love to really get involved and support the tech communities. I suppose one of the best ways that we do this is by telling the stories of some of the most successful and high potential companies and clients alike. Today, we have both Filip and Romain, co-founders at Tribonix, who have kindly agreed to hop on with me. So firstly, thanks for joining me, guys. Great to have you on.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you, yeah.
Oh, good. I suppose, look, if you want to kickstart us, tell me, and I suppose the audience, a bit about your background of the company and I suppose your stories as individuals as well then.
Okay, so I'm Romain. I started the company 3 years ago. So I used to work as a personal assistant for a couple who have disability and a child while I was studying robotics at UW in Bristol. And I really bound with John, so the husband, who has muscular dystrophy, Limb-Girdle. So the main problem with this disease, it's your muscles not going to be able to build muscle fiber anymore, and you're going to lose strength over the time completely randomly. So it's just going to degrade. And we really bound through DIY and RC helicopters. That's really his passion. Like he's flying them like crazy. And also often he crashed them. So I'm the one who picked them up and start fixing them. And we had like a range of different projects that we worked on together. And that was during the summer 3 years ago, where what happened is we were building this toy under car in his shed, and he was really complaining. He wasn't happy about his condition. And I started asking him simply, like, why you're not wearing an exoskeleton? Because there is already some on the market, and you will be able to move your arms again. And in the space of like 30 minutes, he gave me exactly all the problems that the exoskeletons has. And one of the biggest was the independence that you have. So you need someone to put them on and remove them. And most of the time they target only a few movements. So based on that, I start in my room during COVID, developing this new type of mechanism. And after a few months, I managed to create the proof of concept. So the idea is to have a system that open and close and allow the rotation. So you've got the supination, pronation of the forearm and the internal and medial rotation, which the current exoskeleton are lacking, and the possibility to automate this opening closing system and motorize it. So you won't require someone to put it on, because Filip kindly developed a voice module recognition system. So when you will say open to the exoskeleton, you will open and close. So I've been working on this, developing this proof of concept for a year, like to be sure that I've got, there's no one else doing it, that it works, that we can actually like push it more. Because the idea was to build the exoskeleton for John. And then I start recruiting a team. So that started with business people. And then we were in the same course with Filip, but kind of like different groups, because we're all working so much on different projects that there's sometimes we just don't spend time meeting each other. And this is how I met him.
Yeah, for me, it started a couple of years ago. I was studying mechatronics in Prague and decided to move to UK. So studied robotics here as well. I always was part of some group, always part of a product or project or internship. Always wanted to build stuff. And that's also how I met Romain. So instantly after he told me about the whole story, about how he met John and how what's the goal, what's his building, then I straight up knew that this is the kind of path I want to take.
Awesome. Lovely to hear that. It's a great story as well in terms of, I suppose, the reason why you actually started a business. If you don't mind, could you tell us then what would be the main sort of USPs of your company?
So we've got the mechanism, the automatic opening closing one. We've got the SEMG sensors. So Filip have been developing them for the past year to have a sensor that go on the skin over the muscles that we want them to be translated into mechanical movement. So when you're gonna contract, for example, if we say the biceps, for someone with muscular dystrophy, the signal will still be able to be read, but the arm won't be strong enough to actually do the movement. So this signal will be translated into the mechanical movement, and the voice module recognition system.
Okay.
That are really like our three main USPs. And after that, that's more related to the structure itself, where we try to keep it light as possible and also adaptable because everyone has different arm's length. And the idea is to be able to tailor it the fastest possible for each person.
Fantastic. And in regards to types of technologies that are, I suppose, involved in developing something like this, what would be the, I suppose, tech involved?
Yeah, so from the programming side of things, it's purely embedded systems. So there's a lot of C programming, but also a lot of Python for data visualization and processing and just preparing stuff. And then there is just pure mechanics, a lot of SolidWorks work and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, simulation, where we're trying to do the stress analysis because that is way easier on SolidWorks. There is also all the manufacturing process, because you've got like the different steps of development. And at the beginning, we were more looking into 3D printers because they are the easiest, but you can't have a plastic exoskeleton, it won't be strong enough. So then we started switching to CNC machine, which are way easier to create metal parts, but they also change the design. And ideally in the future, it will be inject molding, which then you can really scale up, like start making thousands of units without any problems.
Fantastic. So you touched on it a little bit there, but walk me through, look, what would be the future plans and what are some of the challenges that you've faced so far, or some challenges you might face actually along the way, I suppose, to get into that end goal?
So for this one, it's mainly based on like trying to scale it up. So we are currently finishing the prototyping phase, and we've got this common thing, which is like this is the easiest part. And now our idea of the future is any people who has a problem by moving their arms will have access to those exoskeletons, so make them cheap, accessible. And our first entrance in the market will be through rehabilitation, because we're going to have, our idea is to have those type of rooms where you've got maybe 12 to 20 suites, depending on the size, where people can just walk in, do their rehabilitation, and then leave by the supervision of a physiotherapist. Because there is a big problem with physiotherapists currently in UK. There is not enough for the demand, which creates delays and also make it difficult for people to actually go back to what we say normal life. Mm-hmm. So that will be our entrance, and after that will once we are properly established in this area, and we grow enough, going customers to customers. So, for example, for John, for other people with muscular dystrophy, with strokes, with Lyme, like there is quite a long list of people who might require it. And ideally, going international, the only limits is how many people do need it. For us, like personally, because I won't speak for Filip, but it's to push this the maximum as I can. And even if I just started it and I won't see it worldwide, I will be still really happy, because I'm actually doing something every day that's pushed me to change the world in a better place. And this is literally the idea. After, for the current challenges that we are facing, it's the classical one, the fundings. Where is the money? So we're doing our best through grant application, but most of the time the investors are looking for more developed products, so almost ready to be launched. And to comply with the current legislation regarding exoskeletons, that's going to take for us a year or two of development, also depending on the funds. And it's also trying to keep the team up, the people motivated, having a clear organized structure. And having all of this running, at the point we're going to reach this I would say first pot of money that's going to help us to hire full-time people, because most of them are currently on motivation based.
Mhm.
So that's also difficult to have like someone who stay and be here like constantly. Then the certification is going to be a big one. So we started contacting a few institutions that do that, and it's literally like a list of requirements that we have to go through. So it's redesigning to be sure that we are going to the right direction, that we're not going to hurt people. We have a security system in places, and the branding also, that's a big one. All the legal sides of it, the branding, the possibility to have a shop. We're thinking also of to fund ourselves, launch the voice module that is ready, the EMG sensors, and that's a bit the problem of the founders is like you want to do everything, and at the point you realize that you don't have time, and everything you're doing is wrong. So we have to be sure about like which strategy we're going to go for, and which one will be the best.
Yeah, that's a perfect summary. I think just in short, to add to that, having the full board of ideas and projects we want to spin off or want to start or are necessary for finishing the product, and not enough people to finish them, is the biggest challenge in this stage.
Okay, great. Thanks very much for that. I suppose, look, final thing from me, I suppose, look, in the startup phase yourself, but what advice would you give to other people that perhaps have an idea that they want to turn into a business, or maybe they're in the sort of initial stages of running their business? What advice would you give to those guys?
I think the biggest one is just never stop learning. There is always more to know and more to figure out. Talk to people, because you never know who's going to help you the most. And also just don't give up, because it takes a lot of time and a lot of dedication.
Yeah, it's and do it because you love it, not because you want money. Like money will come at a point or another, but if you just do it for money, it's either you find a quick crack in the system, but that won't like last long. Where if you do it because you love it, like you can do that all your life without any problems, and be ready also to lose a bit of comfort. So yeah, that would be like the main advices.
Awesome. Great. Well, look, guys, thanks very much for taking the time today, and it was really good to have you on. And awesome, I suppose, hearing the story of Tribonix, I suppose where the original idea originated from. I'm actually really excited to see how you guys actually grow. And as always, look, I'll tag the company in the post, as well as both of you guys, and also a link to the website if there's a link as well. And yeah, perfect. Thanks very much.
Thank you so much.